Yeah, hi together. Here we are with our second round of our X-Wing tournament, which was last week. Um, you can probably hear it. I'm trying to comment this video in English. That's because one of our contestants, one of our players, was from the French-speaking part, and I already explained it at the tournament. I'm not really that fluent in French to comment it in French, and no one wants to hear me speak French because my vocabulary and my accent it's just bad. So I'm doing it in English. So yeah, and it's also a bit for um, the followers of Harry Nick and the Discord channel there, so that they have also some videos in English. So I'm trying my best to comment it in English and hope my vocabulary in English isn't enough for that. So I don't want to get any longer. My standard sentence in German as well. And let's talk about the list. The list, which looks like this. We have again a Republic list and an Imperial list against each other, but they are some kind of somewhat different than the first round. Let's talk about these differences and about these lists. So first, player 1, the Republic list is led by Obi-Wan Kenobi in his Delta 7, and his pilot ability reads as followed. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 2 spends a focus token, you may spend 1 force. If you do, that ship gains 1 focus token. So you don't have to lose your focus token when you're flying with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and his ability, of course, works with himself, because he is at range 0 to himself. Then the ship's abilities, fine-tuned controls. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may spend 1 force to perform boost or barrel actions. I made the last video I made was some minutes ago, and it was totally in German, and I have to rethink everything at the moment. So if I'm thinking a bit longer, please forgive me. I'm trying my best here. Yeah, so this means when the maneuver is fully executed, no bump, no overlapping and stuff, he may spend his force tokens and do the barrel or boost action. Yeah. Then what has he on? He has a force ability, which is sense, the same as in the last video. During the system phase, you may choose 1 ship at range 0 to 1 and look at its style. If you spend 1 force, you may choose a ship at range 0 to 3. So you get some information about where the opponent ships want to go, and if you spend a force, you have a grade to choose. Yeah, but again, you also could choose one of your own ship, because it's choose 1 ship, not 1 enemy ship. So, but doesn't make sense. You would know your own maneuvers. I hope so, and if not, you can look at them. Yeah, good. Then the Delta 7B, not B7 like I told last time. It's a configuration, which means which means follows. The normal attack value of the Delta 7 is 2, and this one increases it to 3. So you have 3 attack dice. In the meantime, it decreases your defense value, so you only have 2 defense dice instead of 3. And lastly, it changes your shield value up to 3. Up to 3. Instead of 1. So more shields, less evade value, and more attack value. Then he has an astromech. It's an R2 astromech. It's an R2 astromech, not the R2 astromech, of course, which can regen 1 shield, and that's after you reveal your die. You may spend 1 charge to gain 1 disarm token and recover 1 shield. So you cannot shoot, but you recover 1 shield. You can do it twice because you have 2 charges. It's important. You have to do it when you reveal your dial, not when you have flown your maneuver. So you have a bit to guess where your ship will end up, and if you can shoot or can be shot at or not. Yeah, great. Then there's another Delta 7, but this time it's not Anakin Skywalker, this time it's Plo Koon. He's a bit, let's say he isn't flown that often. His ability reads as follow. At the start of the engagement phase, you may spend 1 force and choose another friendly ship at range 0 to 2. If you do, you may transfer 1 green token to it or transform 1 orange token from it to yourself. So for example, if Obi-Wan Kenobi rechants and you are in range 0 to 2, you may spend your own force and get his disarm token, and Obi-Wan can shoot and rechant in the same round. Or if you have a focus token and Obi-Wan doesn't have one, you can send him, transfer your focus token to him. Leaves you without it. He also has the fine-tuned control, and he has 2 force. That's one of the points why Plo Koon maybe isn't flown that often. He has the same pilot initiative 5, 1 less force, and costs plus a bit less, but not a significant amount less. He has no force upgrades, but also flies the Delta 7, so all the stats change, and he also flies the R2 astromech to regen his own shields. Then we have Rick Olay in his N1 Starfighter. His ability, while you defend or perform a primary attack, if the speed of your revealed maneuver is higher than the enemy ship's, roll 1 additional die. The ship's ability, Full Throttle, after you fully execute a speed 3 to 5 maneuver, you may perform an evade action. His pilot ability, I also said it in German, for me it's a bit of a surprise, not a surprise, but I sometimes forget that his ability is also for defending, and I'm not quite sure if every player with Rick Olay is fully aware you also can do it when you defend, not only when you have a primary attack. And that's one of the reasons why it's important not to change your maneuver dials after you have done your maneuvers, because more and more abilities are connected to what I faster or slower than my opponent, so I can do this or that. Then the upgrade card is a bit different from the last one we saw. It's Daredevil. It requires the boost action, it's for small ships only, and reads as follow. While you perform a white boost action, you may treat it as a red, using the 1 turn template instead. So you can do a sharper turn than you could do normally, but it's red. Yep, that's kind of cool. You can be more flexible because you don't have to, you may. So there's that. And he has also an R2 astromech. It's an R2 astromech, but still not but it's a named one. It's R2A6. I think it's the same as the last one. After you reel your dial, you may set your dial to a maneuver of the same bearing of the speed 1 higher or lower. So for Rick, that's also quite important because you see my opponent did a 2 bank, for example, and I have a 2 turn, but I can shoot at him also with a 3 turn, and so I can change it to a 3 turn and get my bonus. So R2A6 is kind of interesting choice for Rick Olay. So you have to choose between regen possibilities with a normal R2 astromech, or you take R2A6 and get more flexibility in your pilot ability. Good. Enough for the Republic. Let's go to the successor of the Republic, the Galactic Empire, which is led by Soontir. His abilities. At the start of the engagement phase, if there is an enemy ship in your bullseye, gain 1 focus token. Again, it's quite important. It's gain a focus token, it's not a focus action. So you can do it even if you're stressed. If you have an enemy in your bullseye, you get the token. Then the ship's ability, auto thrusters. Not to confuse with the auto thruster from first edition, it reads different. After you perform an action, you may perform a red barrel roll or boost action. So you can do barrel roll and boost, or boost and barrel roll, and be stressed at the end, and Soontir gets still his focus token. So it's kind of like his first version, but it's kind of harder, and you have to pay a bit more to get it. You have to have an enemy in your bullseye. You don't get it when you're just stressed. There's some discussion going on about the targeting computer for Soontir Fel instead of his normal upgrade, which is Predator, and this reads as follow. While you perform a primary attack, if the defender is in your bullseye, you may reroll one attack die. So it triggers together with his pilot ability, which is nice. But for 1 point more, you can have the targeting computer and do the target lock and boost or barrel roll. And then you have the target lock no matter if the enemy is in your bullseye or not. And you can re-roll as many dice as you want to. So there's a discussion going on. Then the wingman of Soontir Fel is Darth Vader. His ability: after you perform an action, you may spend 1 force to perform an action. So he can do up to 4 actions. The first one, then give 3 force tokens to do other actions. But remember, you can do each action only once per round. So no 2 focus, no 2 target locks, which doesn't make sense anyway, or 2 barrel rolls. He has and he has also a ship ability, the Advanced Targeting Computer. While you perform a primary attack against a defender, you have locked, roll 1 additional attack die and change 1 hit result to a crit result. It's quite important. If you have the lock and you roll, let's say, hit focus, you can change 1 hit to a crit immediately and still spend the lock to reroll the focus if you want to. Doesn't matter in which order you do it. You don't have to lock till the end. That was in the first edition. In the second edition, you can choose when to change that hit to a crit result. But this Vader doesn't have to think about that in this situation, because he has the fire control system and he can reroll 1 attack die anyway and don't spend the lock. So that's 1 upgrade of him. But let's see the 4th upgrade. He's flown with hate, which reads as followed. That's my favorite sentence in this video, I think. After you suffer 1 or more damage, recover that many force. So for each shield or hull upgrade he loses, he gets 1 force back. That's quite important for his abilities, where you tend to spend a lot of force tokens, and so you can get some back in some tight situations and reuse them or whatever, but it's limited because you don't have that many health, and yeah, there's that. So you still have to be careful, but in a tight spot it can really pay off. That's why it's flown as much on Vader. Then he has also Afterburners, which reads as followed. Small ship only. After you fully execute a speed 3 or 5 3 to 5 maneuver, you may spend 1 charge to perform a boost action even while stressed. So he cannot have boost in any other way, but this way he can still do boost, and twice in a game because he has 2 charges. But some players, me myself included, forget that you have to do a speed 3 or above maneuver, and if you do a 2 turn or something like that, you can't do it. But sometimes you forget it and then you do it anyway, and then your opponent has to remind you, and then you're like, oh okay, I hope hate will pay off, kind of like that. So Then there's another Force user beside Vader in this list, and it's the Grand Inquisitor in his advanced V1. And his ability is, while you defend at attack range 1, you may spend 1 Force to prevent that range 1 bonus. And the ability goes on with, while you perform an attack against the defender at attack range 2 to 3, you may spend 1 Force to apply the range 1 bonus. He has 2 forces, so he could do both in one round, or could do the defend part twice in a round. Next round he couldn't do it because it only retains 1. Yeah. So what does that mean? For example, if you attack an enemy at range 3, you can say, okay, I get my bonus, but it's only for your bonus. I think it was ruled in our tournament that you get your 1 bonus die, but the opponent gets his bonus defense die as well, because for him it's like, you're still shooting at me in range 3, but for the Inquisitor is, I'm shooting at you at range 1. So that's, yeah, we weren't that sure, and after rereading the rules, we said it's like that. Both get the bonus attack at range, the bonus in range 3. The Inquisitor because of his ability, and the other one because of his point of view. It's always depending on your point of view. Yeah. So then he also, the Inquisitor has also hate, which is the same as Vader's. And the fire control system, again, while you perform an attack, if you have a lock on the defender, you may reroll 1 attack die. If you do, you cannot spend your lock during this attack. You keep your fire control system, can reroll 1 die each round. Kind of like that. Then he has also cluster missiles. The condition is you have to have your opponent in the target lock. Spend 1 charge. After this attack, you may perform this attack as a bonus attack against a different target at the range 0 to 1 of the defender, ignoring the target lock requirement. So this missile is kind of useful against swarms, of course, because you can have up to 2 attacks. But it's important to say this. Only the lock requirement is ignored. You still should, that's something we learned. You still have to have the second defender in your attack arc. You cannot attack outside your attack arc. That's one point. And you still have to pay the cost of the attack. So you have to spend 1 bonus. One charge. So you can do this trick like twice if you want to, because you may perform this attack as a bonus attack, but you have to spend the charge. That's that. So no shooting outside your final arc, and you still have to pay your costs. So those are the lists, and now let's go and see the game and comment it, of course. Yeah. The placement, we have gas clouds, which aren't that they don't have these too much negative consequences. If you fly through them or land on them, you skip your perform action step in the activation, but you still can shoot, and if it obstructs an attack, the defender gets a bonus attack defense die, and he may change 1 blank result to an evade result. That's why I had the theory when they first came up, like, why doesn't anyone, and not why doesn't everyone take those instead of the rocks or the debris field? Because of they're not actually that much of a they don't have that much of a downside. But sometimes you want to, for example, for fracturing your enemy, you maybe want to take the other stuff. And oh, I can skip the overlay. So it's a bit brighter now because you don't have to use the overlay twice. Yeah. And if you're barrel rolling your opponent, you maybe want to put him on a rock or get these negative effects off a rock or a debris field for your opponent. So yeah, it gives you more flexibility in choosing your obstacles to fit your lists. That's why. Alright, we have Koon in the yellow dart, Obi in his red dart, Rick Olay in his N1. On the right side, we have Soontir in a red tie interceptor, and Darth Vader, and then the Grand Inquisitor. The obstacle field is kind of standard. We have a lane of 4 obstacles in a row. It's hard to say which players favorites this more, but I would say the way Plo Koon is placed up there, it would favor him a bit more, because he can fly like straight towards the middle, yeah, with the barrel roll, and still fit through the lane. And also there's a lane for Rick. It's only blocked with this third asteroid, or he does the barrel roll, so there's that. Obi-Wan doing the same, so he can convert to the middle of the board without have to change direction too much. Player 2 trying also to concentrate his forces in the middle of the board, but going like straighter, more straight. I don't know. No shooting in round 1, not that surprising. So I'd say Plo Koon would go full throttle and like 5-4 straight. Except he fears that Fel would turn in with a 2-turn towards him, but Plo Koon against Fel, 6 health against 3 health, and still 2 force, so there's that. But it's hard to say. Depends if the Republic player wants to draw the Empire in or not. So we'll see. 2 straight from Obi-Wan and the barrel roll. So either Rick goes faster or he will bump. What was that maneuver? I didn't see that maneuver before. I think I have to rewatch it if this is even... I think that's one way to do it without removing the ships. But it looks a bit awkward. I was kind of like, is he doing a talon roll? Yeah, but I think it's okay. It should go that way, I hope. If not, write it in the comments if I'm wrong about this. So the Imperial forces are going all the same direction, but still have, but now have to decide: want to go towards Rick or want to go towards Obi-Wan. No shooting round 2. Plo Koon didn't go that fast. It's still open. Obi-Wan could do the 3 Bang. We could do 2. Maybe concentrate and then let Fel fly by. And concentrate on both force users. Probably Plo Koon could with a force rate, and the boost could squeeze through the big rocks. But for the Imperial, what to do? Fel, of course, could turn left, but would probably leave him without a chance to shoot, or he could do the S loop to the right and concentrate with Vader and the Grand Inquisitor towards Rick, but Rick still could just like 2 turn up and go behind the cloud, but he goes 5 straight, so he wants to be sure to have his abilities this round. The Daredevil boost. I think the S-loop from Fel would be quite nice. Obi-Wan a bit slow, keep his firing arcs quite open, target lock. That's another thing. Technically you cannot, or it's quite hard to fail target lock, because you can lock on obstacles, and the chances are quite high that in range 0 to 3 there's always at least one obstacle or one friendly ship of yours. So, and the lock only fails if there are no objects to choose, and objects are ships and obstacles. Just, yeah. Inquisitor went straight, doing a boost, and there is a stress and a focus token, so he's trying to get Obi-Wan. Soontir flies by Rick, and yeah, the boost was a guaranteed thing. He tries to get Obi-Wan as well, and if Vader is, yeah, he has the same speed as the Inquisitor, he could try to boost with afterburners. Don't know if that would get him range 2, or he's still stuck in range 3. Rick would have his bonus against him because he went 5. Decisions to make. I think the target lock is clear. There is the boost from afterburners, trying to skip range 3. Now there's no obstructed shot from Koon. Still no obstructed shot from Rick. He could, let's see, he could try the barrel roll up, trying to get out of the range of Rick, not out of the arc, but out of range, but get closer to Plo Koon. Or he could, yeah, there's focus and target lock, spending 1 force, which would recharge. Oh, still the barrel roll. So 2 charges, getting possibly out of range of Rick, but closer to Plo Koon. Maybe an arc. Don't know. But now it's Fel's turn, and Fel's making hit against 2 evades. So nothing happens there. Darth Vader. Let's lose. Obi-Wan loses 2 shields. Rick on Vader with only 1 hit and a lot of evade, and only 1 evade from Vader, but that's enough. Then Plo Koon on Vader with 3 hits and 1 evade, so 2 shields off of Vader, and he regains his force. Obi-Wan, 2 crits, spends 1 force and gets a direct hit. So Vader down to 1 health. Now the Grand Inquisitor, and Obi-Wan loses the last shield. So points on both sides. Obi-Wan and Anakin costing the same. Oh, Obi-Wan gets rounded up, so that's why. He costs 1 point less, but FFG's genial rules to round it up says that that's the same now. Good. Force is recharging. I think Vader is fully recharged with Force because he lost so much life. So hate isn't that much of a use anymore. Obi-Wan could try to regen. Could also use, yeah, he does, their sense. Uses 1 force more to do the barrel because he sees where Vader is going to be. And of course he wants to know where Vader goes so that he now could, yeah. For example, he sees how fast Vader is going and sees where he is going, so he could decide if Rick should change his maneuver to something faster or slower or what's not. But with it, I'm not sure if you had a two bank maneuver and did now a 3 bank maneuver, could be possible. But if he already fixed the 3 bank, wouldn't help that much. Vader doing a K turn, so no target lock on Rick or Plo Koon, but still a shot on both of them. Damage on Rick could not be regened. That's the word I was looking for. No droids, but the words I was looking for. Val going in. Possibly a barrel roll to the right. Trying to get a shot at Rick. No, he's boosting to get a shot at Plo Koon because everyone can shoot at Plo Koon. So Fell shooting first at Plo Koon with 3 hits, 2 evades, only 1 shield of Plo Koon. Vader range 2, 2 hits, 2 focus, spending a focus, I think, no damage done there. And the Grand Inquisitor with hit blank, 3 hits against focus blank and shield hull on Plo Koon. couldn't spend any force. Force was spent, focus was spent, so half points on Plo Koon. But can Vader survive the onslaught of Rick and Plo Koon? That's the question. Plo Koon's firing first with hit crit. 2 evades, 1 crit's going through. Don't know which one it is, but Vader's gone. Only 4 points ahead for the for player 1. And Rick's firing at Soontir fell. Only gets 1 evade. So 2 damage on Soontir fell, and the new standings 106 against 74. Quite a round. Plo Koon down half points, Vader gone, and Soontir fell loses half points as well. I'm not quite sure what I have done differently, to be honest. The chances to get more damage through Rick was not that higher, I think, because only 2 ships could have fired on Rick. Yeah. And she couldn't have had his focus from Soontir. So I think it was the right decision. Question now. Rick could fit with a 3-turn upwards. Plo Koon could. Nah, that will bomb. I think Plo Koon has to disengage this round. Maybe Obi-Wan can engage somehow with 1 turn, barrel roll in with the force with fine-tuned stuff. Fine-tuned, what's it called? Fine-tuned, no. Fine-tuned controls. Yeah, that's it. Don't worry, the name tag for Darth should disappear sometime. It's just his ghost left, so maybe like Emperor Palpatine, spending force on Obi-Wan to see on one of the dials, but which dial interests most? I think fell, yeah. The Darth's gone to the side. Thanks to my cameraman at this point, which did an amazing job letting... Oh, Obi-Wan is regen. So, points lost on the Imperial side. Yeah, for my cameraman who did the name tags and the dial scam during the games, and I was doing the organizing part. Rick didn't do the turn, but the bank. And Plo Koon disengages as well. And regens as well. But no points gained at this point. No points gained at this point. Wow! By the way, the last wheel I will do in English as well for the Australian guys, because it's the final. I'm just a bit sorry for my teammate. one on the right. It's one of our team. Maybe you already seen his shirt. Yeah. But the game still can change. It ain't over till it's over. So no shooting this round, only regen. So there is still some point changes without shooting at each other, but in the wrong direction. But that's what makes those regen droids so so great. Firing them in the right timing can make a loss to a win, especially if your opponent forgets that you have this ability. Spending a force again to fight you in control. This time, no idea what any of the opponent ships are doing, so he has to reposition, and I think that's the bigger break. They're calling the judge, which was me at this for this game, for this decision. Was a question about if you're give up, what happens then, and with the half points. I think Imperial player realized how game changing those regen can be. For example, if Koon regens and never gets shot again, then there is no points gained for the Imperial. And in the rule books, apparently, it was in our community, when someone gave up, the opponent won 200-0. Apparently, it's kind of wrong. The opponent still gets 200 points. If you give up, your whole squad counts as destroyed, no matter how many points you spend building the list. But you still get points too, meaning all damaged or destroyed ships you destroyed on your opponent to the point of you giving up. I know it sounds a bit, yeah, but so if you're flying against the region list, giving up at some point could be quite temptatious. Don't know if I used the right form of this word, but so if you see, okay, I'm gonna lose anyway, but you want not have that big of a MOV, or you want to have a better MOV, so that's, you could think about giving up against a regen list, because every damage you've done to this point, you will still get points, and if you go on, you might lose worse. But you have to be careful, of course, because this is meddling with the outcome of the game, and yeah, if your opponent gets the suspicions that you're just giving up because of not wanting to lose as bad, then yeah, he could call a judge, and that could have quite severe consequences. So be careful about this. You can do it, you won't get that much of a downside, but if it's intentional and you get caught, so yeah. Also, you have to be careful not to accuse any player giving up on trying to not lose as much or as worse. Does that sound right? I'm not sure. I'm not native English, so I even create some new English words like worser. It's only getting worser, not worse. And sometimes I use it to show how bad bad it really is. If it's getting worse, then it's worse than worse. Enough of that. Let's go. Soontir fell, I think, firing at Obi-Wan, but only focuses on blank, so nothing to report here. Koon can fire at the Grand Inquisitor, and he does. One crit, enough evades, so no damage done there. Now the Grand Inquisitor's turn against Obi-Wan. One hit, evade focus, and evading. As well, no change there. So let's go back to the game. Enough philosophy about not winning as bad, or I don't know. They are hurrying up a bit. Maybe they want to catch up the lost time. Regen Obi-Wan. And let's see. Ooh, you can go down there. That's new. Regen 1 on Koon. That's nice. A new feature. I thought about this feature to let the chargers do their stuff on the overlay, but now it's there. Plo Koon did not regen, but I think he used his ability to gain some distance. Because they expect the Imperials to go after Obi-Wan. He has no force left, only one focus. He just regen, which doesn't affect his defensive abilities, but yeah. Question is now to boost or not to boost. Soontir's gonna probably doing a better roll. That's okay. Focus. Going closer to Plo Koon. Not boosting. Didn't see that coming. Oh, he wants to shoot at Plo Koon. That's going on. Question to barrel roll or not, but the better question would be, does the barrel roll fit? And I think not, to be honest. He's not sure if he has the bullseye on Plo Koon to get the focus. Because he did the boost first, he doesn't get the I think that's bullseye. Trying to be precise, calling judge. No, they decide to roll a dice, and it's not. It is. Called it too soon. So, Soontir fell on Plo Koon, doing 3 hits, 2 evades, so he's gone again. And I think there was an initiative problem some rounds ago, because Plo Koon is firing first now. A lot of crits, but Soontir evades. Rick's turn on fell. 2 hits. Amazing. And 1 damage get through, so Soontir is gone as well. Now the Grand Inquisitor against the world. 2 hits, only 1 evade from Plo Koon, no focus, so another damage. Only 1 hull left on Plo Koon. No chance to regen those points. He only has 1 left. So like the Inquisitor could try to turn hard 1 downwards, lose his stress, and he moves after Obi-Wan, so he should see after Plo Koon, should see where Plo Koon ends up. And the Republic list it's so flexible, but now Obi-Wan also knows where he would end up. So Obi-Wan looks at the dial. He can choose which of his five Initiative 5 ships would activate first. He can choose whether or not Rick Olay would do his R2A6 stuff, and he can choose whether or not to do Daredevil or not. He also knows when to spend force on Plo Koon or Obi-Wan. It's such a great list. So flexible and so devastating, with both Delta 7Bs, still some offensive powers. Inquisitor turns, but is not in a good spot right now. Boost. Obi-Wan on the Grand Inquisitor, 2 hits, 2 evades. He lives to fight another day. Still full health. I must say, the first tokens on the board are really quite helpful. Can be a bit annoying for the players to move all those tokens around, but still helpful for commenting and all the other stuff. Again, Obi-Wan just spending his force, decides to go first this time. He now can guess where the Grand Inquisitor would end up. Rick going this way. Now he knows exactly, do I boost or not? But I think he cleared the gas cloud, I think. And he did the Daredevil again. Plo Koon disengaging, getting target lock for round set, don't know. Inquisitor trying to escape the death trap. Only Rick can shoot at him. Both went speed 3, so no cloud. 2 focus from Rick. Next round. Obi-Wan spending again the Force. It's so powerful, especially in the late game, as you can see. Have this information, knowing where your opponent would end up, you really can hunt him down. that he probably knew he would go like upwards, but not didn't know how fast. So Obi-Wan could have boosted, but now he knows. Oh, he won't go that far or in this direction. So I probably have a shot on him if I stay there and doing just the focus, getting my 3 attack dice count. And the Inquisitor tries to evade every shot. Crit hit. 2 shields off the Inquisitor. Obi-Wan just being really, really hot. I mean, could have been a dead Inquisitor right there. If the crit gets through and it's the direct hit. Only had the German word in my head. So, Inquisitor firing at range 1, as I might say, against Obi-Wan and at Koon. It's an Obi-Wan. I wrote it wrong. Hit crit for Plo Koon, which means dead Plo Koon. I shouldn't do protocols when I'm too tired. For your information, in my protocols, there's nothing about which maneuver ship does. It's only the dice. I protocol and the timing, so that I'm don't get lost. Oh, where am I? Which round it is? Most of the times, I'm only looking on the monitor with the game running right now, doing my comments. Talon roll. That's a first. He didn't want to look on the dial. Barrel roll. Out of arc of Rick. So no shooting this round. Yep. My goodness. That's right. I was writing the shortcuts of OBS in my Excel sheet. Funny. Now spending a force again, because now it's quite important. Does the Inquisitor try to get to the left or to the right of this gas cloud? Rick going fast banking. Nothing to do with money. Inquisitor going 1 higher just to make sure and to turn. Obi-Wan's firing first through the gas cloud. Spending 1 force, re-rolling, spending 1 force, I think. 3 weights, so 3 weights, but still no damage went through. Rick, 2 hits. Grand Inquisitor, a lot of E-weights this time, especially with the gas cloud. So like Plo Koon, couldn't use his astromech, but Obi-Wan did, and he did it great. Rick was like never shot once. Is that true? Rick was never the target of an attack. And I think time's done, and yeah, that's the standing. Quite interesting fight, quite interesting Republic list. Would would keep an eye on that kind of list, that information flow between Obi-Wan and the rest of the squad. The fact that all our Initiative 5 helps a lot, and R2A6 and Daredevil are quite an option on Rick instead of Predator and just the normal R2 Astromech. So, yeah, for the Imperial player, just keep in mind the cluster missiles for the Imperialist. The cluster missiles are quite have quite a downside, which you should remember. And yeah, so Soontir, he's so powerful, but he can die so fast. It's scary. So, if you have any comments or something I missed or I had wrong in my head and said it wrong, please feel free to comment below, write comments, and or contact us directly, or yeah, so that we can learn, so that you can learn to get better and exciting and more fair plays like this one. It was quite an up and down with the points with those region lists. It's quite interesting. It's also quite difficult, but still quite interesting to do. So for all the English speaking listeners, I say it again, the last round will be in English as well. The next round will be in German, but you still could watch it. Maybe you learn some German words. I'm not sure if I'm the best teacher for that or not, but you could, or you can just enjoy the game. You can mute me if if I annoy you. You can mute me on the English video as well for that. So yeah. For everyone else, have a great day, night, wherever you are, and see you in the next video. Bye.